Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone, my name is Rosa Amelia Putri. Now I want to storytelling about Snow White. Once upon a time, in a kingdom far away, there lived a beautiful prince named Snow White. Her skin was as white as snow, her lips as red as rose, and her hair as black as bonny wood. She was the daughter of a kind king and queen who loved her dearly. Sadly, when Snow White was still very young, her mother passed. The king eventually remarried a woman who was beautiful but fine and calm. This new queen possessed a magical mirror, and every day she would stand before it and ask, "Mirror, mirror, on the wall, who is the fairest of them all?" And the mirror will always reply, "You, my queen, are the fairest in the land." Years passed, and Snow White grew into a lovely young woman. One fateful day, when the queen asked her mirror the usual question, the mirror gave a different answer. "You, my queen, are fair, it's true, but Snow White is 1,000 times more beautiful than you." Consumed by jealousy and rage, the queen ordered a huntsman to take Snow White deep into the forest and kill her. As proof, she demanded he bring back the girl's heart in a jewel box. The huntsman took Snow White into the darkest parts of the forest, but when he realized his knife, he could bring himself to hide the innocent princess. "Run away, child," he cried. "Run far away and never return." He then killed a wild boar and brought its heart to the queen, who believed Snow White was dead. Terrified and alone, Snow White ran through the forest until she stumbled upon a tiny cottage. Inside everything was Inside, everything was small and neat. 7 little chairs, 7 little plates, and 7 little beds. Exhausted, she fell asleep across the beds. When the owners returned that evening, Snow White awoke to find 7 kind dwarfs staring at her in amazement after hearing her story. They invited her to stay with them. "You can keep house for us," they said, "and in return we will keep you safe." The dwarf warns her, "Be careful when we are at work in the mines. Let no one in, for the queen may discover your life." Meanwhile, the queen consulted her magic mirror again, only to discover that Snow White still lived. Furious, she disguised herself as an old peddler woman and traveled to the cottage. For stems, the queen sold Snow White a beautiful large bodice and tied it so tightly that the girl fainted. When the dwarfs returned, they cut the laces and revived her. Second attempt, the queen returned disguised as a different woman, setting a poised comb. When she placed it in Snow White's hair, the princess collapsed again. The dwarf saved her by removing the coat. The third attempt, the third made to success, the queen created a poised apple red on one inside, safe on the other, disguised as a farmer's wife. She conveyed Snow White to take a bit from the poisoned house. Snow White fell down as if dead, and this time the dwarf could not revive her. They placed her in glass coffin on a hilltop, where they kept watch over her. Years passed, and Snow White remained unchanged in her glass coffin, as beautiful as ever. One day, a prince from a neighboring kingdom was riding through the forest and saw the coffin. Captivated by Snow White's beauty, he beseeched the dwarf to let him take her to his castle. As his servants carried the coffin, they stumbled, and the jewel dislodged the piece of pastry apple from Snow White's throat. She opened her eyes and came back to life. The prince declared his love for her, and Snow White agreed to marry him. When the wicked queen heard of the wedding, she was so consumed with rage that she fled the kingdom, never to be seen again. Snow White and the prince were married in a grand ceremony, and the seven dwarfs were honored with they all lived happily ever after. The end. Uh, this classic fairy tale teaches us about the dangers of vanity and jealousy, the importance of kindness, and the power of true love. Okay, that's my story. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.